Anyway, thank you so much for joining me for another recap of 90 Day Fiance The Other Way. We are on season 2, episode 12, The Parent Trap. First of all, I'd like to welcome a couple new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining the channel. I'm so happy to welcome you and that you decided to join us. And that is Alan Greggs. And also, the username is FTPCompDM. So if you want, FTPCompDM. If you want to, you can go down in the comments and give me a first name if you feel comfortable, and I'll shout out your first name. But anyway, I don't care what you call yourself. I'm really happy to have you here. Thank you for joining us. It makes me, it makes me feel very honored when I get new subscribers. So thank you. I also want to thank Nastea Gal. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. April Nade, again, hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, and Durga for your very encouraging comments, which I love to see, and they mean a lot to me. Okay, so we start with Jihoon and Deavan. All right, Elicea, bitchy mom from hell. Yeah, a little child can run so amazingly fast. It's crazy. A 2 or 3 year old, they can run, or a 4-year-old. Oh my God, they're so fast, those little legs. And when Drascilla just decided to take off for the street, which, you know, I know a lot of people have commented and said, well, she's just a really ill-behaved, badly trained child. It's kind of hard to train a child that's that little, and I have noticed that I've seen my friends' children run off in a lot of different circumstances and not do it ever again, maybe, but it is something that happens with kids. Suddenly something catches their attention and they're like, I mean, I can remember, I have like very clear memories of being a child, and I can remember just suddenly, like, you know, being like 4 or 5 and suddenly just wanting to run as fast as my legs would take me. It's like you're exploring the limits of your own body. And I would be like, how fast can I run? And just suddenly just taking off down the sidewalk or taking off down the grass, you know, and just that feeling of just going full out and of being that young and feeling your, you know, feeling your little growing power. Yeah, I remember that. Anyway, so I'm not sure I'm gonna, you know, blame anyone for her, whatever her, how she was reared. Yeah, she seemed really bratty when we saw her in the previous show, but again, I think that was, she was going through the terrible twos, and that's not the point. Okay, the point is, and I think this should be something instinctive in all people, but maybe it's just not. I don't think you have to be a parent to know that if you see a child running toward traffic, you're going to run and as fast as you can to stop that child from making it to the traffic. And it seems like, again, it's a little bit confusing, but it seems like Jihoon was the closest one to be able to get to her. And he, you know, is being screamed at by Deavan, and he's really offended by being screamed at. He finds that like really, oh my God, why are you screaming at? So he takes time to turn around and kind of say, you know, don't scream at me. And you have to put everything else aside. You just have to think baby, traffic, possible death. And you just have to, I mean, it's like I work with children with cerebral palsy. And as I volunteer as an assistant physical therapist. And so I'm not the main therapist, but I'm helping. And, you know, sometimes the therapist is doing something over here, and the child is often getting their balance. That's what they're doing with us. They're learning their balance. Sometimes they're working toward walking or even just sitting up or whatever. But suddenly the child's doing fine. They're stable, and suddenly they just start to go and do a face plant. And you know, it's an instinct, which I think all people have. I don't know, but anyway, it was badly played, Jihoon. That was not good. I mean, but again, he's so clueless. I don't want to make an excuse for anybody because a child's life is in stake. I just think, you know, child traffic, again, I'm not a mom. I don't have to be a mom baby, precious baby traffic. I'm just like, it was horrible. It was really scary. I would have been freaked out. I would have been I would have gone after her, but I'm saying if I were in the background watching this happening and Jihoon was the closest one who could get her, I would also be freaked out. I just want to know one thing. Didn't she run by a cameraman? In the way it was filmed, didn't it seem like she must have passed by some crew? Or did I imagine that? Maybe they just zoomed in on her. Because I was like, oh, so now like the crew is not allowed to interfere. So even if someone's about to jump off a cliff, you're not allowed to put your camera down. And I don't know. The whole thing seemed maybe a little fishy. It seems like it's very honest and like it couldn't possibly be fake drama. But that made me wonder, was this another case of fake drama? I don't know. Anyway. Jihoon is in the doghouse. He never got out of the doghouse, but now he's really deep, deep, deep in the basement of the doghouse, locked in the closet of the basement of the doghouse. He's in the hole dug into the floor of the closet of the basement of the doghouse. That's where he is right now. I hate the way Elicea talks to him just because she's so unlikable. She's just nasty. But what she's saying is, I kind of understand, and I don't like to say that because I really dislike this woman. She's everything I dislike. But she says, no, I don't forgive you because that could have ended in a horrible tragedy. So I kind of understand, but I do just kind of wish she would, I don't know. She goes a little over the top, perhaps. I don't know. I think that, he should not have taken time to berate Deavan for shouting at him. That's not the time. It's not the time. But you know what? Sometimes that's human nature. Like I can remember being on a boat, being a crew, being the second person on a boat a lot with a significant other. And, the boat is about to hit something, let's say. You're coming into the piling and your job, you're the human fender. You got to throw your legs out against the piling so the boat doesn't hit the piling, and you're the one in charge of the lines and the boat hook and all that, and the tying of the boat. And sometimes it's like if you're trying to do all you can, and then let's call him the captain is screaming at you, and he's screaming at you because he doesn't want you thrown in the water with a concussion, and he doesn't want the boat bashed into a piling with all this damage. So he loses his temper and yells. And I have been guilty of like turning around when I should just be worried about not hitting anything and be like, stop yelling at me. So I kind of understand, but again, I don't think a boat or damage to a boat, nothing was going to happen to me. I mean, I know how to handle myself on a boat. I have good balance on a boat. But yeah, I was like, don't shout at me. Women and men and boats, a tricky combination. I can tell you from experience, most of my life, I've been with people with boats, and done a lot of work on boats. And I can just sum it up by saying that in Annapolis, Maryland, where I lived for a few years and had our boat at the Eastport Yacht Club, and I saw this couple, this man and this woman, who had a sailboat, and they raced sailboats. And the woman's t-shirt said, "Stop yelling at me," and the man's t-shirt said, "I'm not yelling." And that is the perfect for a man and a woman, or any partners, 2 men, 2 women who sail together or race together or are boaters together. This is a great pair of t-shirts. It's perfect. Okay. All right. Again, you have to say to yourself, look, obviously Jihoon he loves Drascilla. He doesn't want her to die. I feel like when he's being berated by Deavan and Elicea, I don't feel like his crying is real. I feel like he is upset, but I feel like he's trying to kind of put on the crying. You know how I'm the fake crying police. And I don't think it's because he doesn't care. I just think he really thought this is a really good time for me to be able to show tears. This would help me greatly. And his mother's disgusted. She's like, "Why are you crying? Korean men don't cry." So yeah, it's just a total humiliating moment for Jihoon. One of many, many humiliating moments for Jihoon. He says he wants to be a better dad. He says he wants to stand up and become a family man. Deavan accepts his apology. This is never going to work. This couple is never going to work. I hardly ever say that because I don't, people can grow up and change. He's 30 years old. I think there's something kind of missing there. Yeah, I don't think this is, I don't know if he's cut out to be a husband, let alone a father. I mean, he has a baby, but just siring a baby doesn't make you a dad. Okay, it's just a mess. All right, now we are over in Ethiopia with Biniyam and Ariella. And Biniyam visits his family without Ari. They want to speak with him, his brothers and sisters, and they remind him how working at the club was a big problem with his last marriage. I guess partly because the only female dance partner in Addis Ababa is his ex-girlfriend. He can't work with someone else. Apparently she comes with him anytime. It's a package deal. Anytime he gets a job, he has to bring along ex-girlfriend. And I guess the ex-wife was very jealous of that. His family, they're a very good family. I think they're very caring. Their parents died when they were all very young, and I think that they grew up kind of protecting each other. So I think I think that their intentions are very sincere. They want to make sure Ariella respects him. His brothers and sisters would rather that he marry an Ethiopian girl. Of course, that's totally understandable. They're also afraid, that it's going to be the same thing all over again. They're going to have, a little niece or nephew come into the family, and then it's going to be taken off to America, and they're never going to see it again. And I don't think, again, I keep saying it, Ethiopia is not like a country that is so easy to get into the U.S. And there's a reason why he was never able to get in before, not even on a visitor's visa. I'm not saying anything like, shady, but he was never able to get in before, so I don't know why he would be able to get in now. And he was married and had a baby before, and America would not let him in. The United States would not let him in. So I don't know why they would this time if Ari decides that she can't handle it and she wants to go back, or if they break up and she decides she wants to go back, she'll take the baby. So their fears are perfectly justified. They're perfectly justified. Okay. They said that one thing that they do want to see, oh God, here we go, this isn't everyone. They would like to see her respect their culture, and to them that means her embracing the Ethiopian Orthodox religion. Oh God, here we have with another, asking for a baptism. Ari is Jewish. So, okay, of course they would be happy if she embraced their culture, and for them that would mean if she becomes Ethiopian Orthodox and accepts their religion. Well, being Jewish is a very strong faith. It's not one that Jews tend to give up easily, and that's asking a whole lot. Okay, so Biniyam wants the baby to be Ethiopian Orthodox, in other words, baptized in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. Now, in order for the baby to be baptized Ethiopian Orthodox, the mother has to be baptized Ethiopian Orthodox. So it's the same, it's not the same, but it's another branch of Orthodox Christianity. We have Moldova, we have that right, and then this is a different one. But they have some similar beliefs, believe it or not. Ethiopian Orthodox and Moldovan Orthodox share some similar beliefs. They're not Catholics. They're different from Catholics and from other Christians. Okay, she goes to visit a priest, and the priest explains to her that she has to be baptized in order for the baby to be baptized, because the baby must suckle from Christian Ethiopian Orthodox breasts. And of course, I'm always looking for a way around things. So I'm like, oh, can they get a wet nurse? Can they hire an Ethiopian woman to suckle the baby like in the old days? They used to have wet nurses to nurse the babies. I know no one wants that these days. It's not really a practical thought, but I just thought it was, kind of like, oh, well, I don't think they would go for that. People that are extremely religious are not usually open to people looking for loopholes. That kind of goes against the whole purpose. All right. And this whole thing is making Ari question, just thinking, maybe we're wrong for each other because we both have two pretty strong religions. It's not like one is kind of wimpy so-so and one is extremely religious. They both are very strong in their faiths, which are quite different. So she's worried. She's definitely concerned. Okay. Kenneth and Armando. Kenneth and Armando. Cheers. Kenneth and Armando. May you be happy for years and years and years. It's funny. I thought everything looked familiar at the place where he proposed. And then I realized where they are because that hotel, Las Rocas, I'm like, I've been to Las Rocas. I know where that is. For some reason, because San Felipe is in a different direction, I was thinking, I don't know why, I was thinking they were in a different part of Baja California, but they're actually, the little town they're in is La Misión, and it's north of Ensenada. And Ensenada is a town where I spent so much time growing up and as an adult, because it's very close to Laguna Beach, where I lived. And even LA, it's very close. It's like you cross the border and then it's like another hour south to Ensenada, and it's quite pretty there. They have cliffs and they have a beautiful island offshore with a lighthouse on it, and they have some cool hotels, and it's a nice little port town. So I'm like, oh, no wonder everything looks so familiar. So that's kind of cool. All right, and the other thing is that means because La Misión is not that far from Ensenada, and that makes me feel better for Kenneth because Ensenada has everything you could need. It'll have a decent hospital, banks, everything. Ensenada is it's a city, not a big city, but it's like let's call it a big town. How's that? Okay, has some amazing restaurants, really good seafood, very good seafood. Okay. So anyway, they're going to celebrate their engagement. They're so happy. They're absolutely thrilled. They're going to go home to San Felipe in a few days to pick up Hannah and bring her down to live with them. Armando hesitates to introduce Kenneth to his family as his husband. He already has mentioned bringing him, just introducing as his partner or boyfriend, and they're not happy. He wants to take it slow. I think he wants to introduce him and wait and tell them maybe on the next visit that they're married, which obviously Kenneth doesn't love, and I can understand both sides. He has to tread kind of delicately, especially with his father. Okay, now back to Deavan and Jihoon. Oh God, okay, so yeah, as I kind of already mentioned, he's doing his formal apology to Elicea. Elicea is not having any of it. Bitch, bitch, bitch. You don't yell before going after a baby to save their life. You just go save the baby's life. She's right. But I just hate the way she's talking to him like, you tried to kill my granddaughter. She just doesn't have to be that miserable. But look, even when things are going well, she's a bitch. So of course she's going to be an extra intense bitch in a situation like this. Okay, we're just going to skip right past that. All right, now Brittany and Yazan, the couple voted most likely to fail behind Deavan and Jihoon. I thought for a little while there that Deavan and Jihoon had a chance, but now I don't think so. Anyway, okay, so they're going to go to Yazan's parents' house again. Last time did not go so well. Brittany wears hijab. She also wears an abaya, so she's totally covered up. And the uncle is going to be there. The cool uncle is going to be there. Okay. Now the uncle believes when they get there, and she kisses them, and she's really trying to be on her best behavior. And I feel like the parents are really trying to chill out and be on their best behavior too, which is amazing. I don't know what the uncle said to them. I think he probably said something like, she's really rich. She's a hip hop superstar. She's Cardi B. She's worth millions of, I don't know what he said, but they seem more thrilled to see her this time. Let's just say that. Okay, so the uncle says, look, they have to have a chance to get to know each other. They haven't spent enough time together. So let them get to know each other. Think of her as his friend. And then Yazan says, let me teach her. He's not such a holy, devout Muslim. So anyway, and then when her father comes in about a month, will either marry and she'll become a Muslim, or she'll become a Muslim and then we'll marry, or she'll go home with him. Not gonna happen. Okay, they ask when the father's coming. They say about a month. Do y'all remember that Brittany is married and that marriage is probably going to take months to dissolve? That's why this whole thing is it's pretty painful. It's pretty stupid, and it's starting to insult my intelligence. Anyway, Dad softens up. Dad has kind eyes. I'm a real believer in the eyes. And Dad, when he softens up, he has kind eyes. Look at those eyes. He's basically a kind person. He has a kind soul. So he says, look, he wants them to be happy. He wants for the marriage to last. So he agrees. I think he is a good man. Even Mom is suddenly like, yeah, no, it's better they don't rush into marriage. We don't want a divorce. This is a big deal for them. They're really bending over backwards by Muslim standards, which is why I'm wondering, like, what did the uncle tell them? I'm a little shocked because this is not normal. This is not a normal reaction of a Muslim family, of a religious Muslim family, to be like, okay, yeah, let them get to know each other for a month and we'll see what happens. No. It's not a super flexible, in most cases, for people who observe it devoutly, it is not the most flexible religion. Okay. Yeah, the mother says, welcome to your home. This is your home. I'm just thinking to myself, wait till you tell everyone that you're married. They're going to love that. I'm just like... Okay, anyway. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I love to share these recaps with you. Please like, comment, and of course subscribe. And if you subscribe, please do remember to put your name or just your first name, if you like, down in the comments so that I can give you a shout out in the comments and also online. I'm really enjoying, watching this, watching views and things build very slowly, but building. It's exciting for me, and I feel like I'm honored that you want to share this with me, because even though I get very emotional and sometimes I get very angry, obviously I do this because it's fun, and I love these shows because, let's face it, they're funny, they're entertaining, and otherwise I wouldn't be here. So anyway, I really want you to take good care of yourself and be good, but not too good.